Hi there, this is Fezile Kumalo and this is Empowered Fair. Welcome once again if you are returning. If you are new in this channel, we talk about all things empowering, all things life-changing, and all things that contribute to your personal development. If that's your type of vibe, please make sure that you like this video and also subscribe to the channel for more content later on. So in today's video, we want to talk about imposter syndrome. We want to define what really imposter syndrome is and how it can also affect our ability to achieve the most of, what we've set for ourselves in 2025, for example. Let's start by defining what really imposter syndrome is. So it is a psychological pattern where one doubts their abilities and their accomplishments. But most importantly, listen to this. It is a consistent fear of being exposed as a fraud. Now, the funny thing is that according to research, it is mainly common in people that have achieved a lot in life. Why is that? I guess it's because high achievers care about getting it right all the time. They care about doing the right thing most of the time. So according to research, again, it's mainly common in women who are in fields like STEM, who are in leadership positions or also entrepreneurship. The first ever article to be written about imposter syndrome was based on a study conducted by Paulina and a lady called Susanna in 1978. I got hold of that article and it was really interesting to learn so much about why women in particular face or have that persistent psychological pattern of feeling like imposters. So the title of that article is The Imposter Phenomena in High Achieving Women, Dynamics and Therapeutic Interventions. You might want to read it online. It is available. Now, the most interesting thing for me from that article was that imposter syndrome is not a mental disorder. So it's not something to heal from. Rather, it is an experience. Anybody can have this experience. What we have to do is to try to understand where this experience stems from and what we can do about it. Now, this is very, very important because unchecked imposter syndrome has the ability to create what we call self-imposed glass ceilings. Now, self-imposed glass ceilings are the limits we place on ourselves, disqualifying ourselves of certain roles because we believe we are not good enough, or we believe we're going to fail, or we believe that if we try, people will see us as frauds or as not as smart as we think we are. We second guess our abilities, we second guess our accomplishments, and we downplay everything that we have that is seen as a strength about ourselves. Now, most of these usually stem from societal expectations and norms, and sometimes our personal experience have a way of shaping our imposter syndrome. For example, your grade 5 teacher might have told you that because of the way you walk, you probably will not make a good model, or because of the way you speak, you are not going to be a good public speaker. Those experiences that we have on a daily basis have a way of shaping how we look at ourselves and how we view our abilities and our accomplishments. Now, the problem with unchecked imposter syndrome is that it has the ability to create these three things I'm going to talk about just now. The first one being the fear of failure. Now, everybody experiences fear of failure, but the thing is, it can prevent you from jumping into risks. So you want to wait until you get it right. Which actually brings me to the second point, the issue of perfectionism. Perfectionism says you're not going to start because you don't have the right resources. You're not going to start because you don't have money. I'm not good enough yet. I will wait until I have done this and that. I'm not going to apply for that role because I don't have this qualification. So perfectionism waits until you get it right, which unfortunately it will never happen. So you keep procrastinating until you don't even do that thing. So that's the whole danger of imposter syndrome that is not checked. Now, the third thing is comparison. Unfortunately, on the comparison scale, we are always on the losing side. The other person is always better than us. Comparison is the deadliest of them all. Comparing your abilities with other person's abilities, it's just the worst thing you can ever do to yourself because you'll always be on the losing side. What does it mean keeping in check of our imposter syndrome? I'm just going to talk about the 3C model, which is also discussed in that article. Now, this was a therapeutic intervention that was proposed for, people that experience this imposter syndrome. The first C is about clarifying, getting clarity. Where does my imposter syndrome come from? Is it my fear of failing? Is it because my teacher used to say these things about me? Is it something that was said by my parents? Is it something that was said by a friend of mine? So understanding the core root of where your imposter syndrome comes from is very important because at least you know what you're working with. It is not just about falsifying all the statements said about you. But the problem is that in our heads, we tend to magnify them. So we just have to understand where they come from and not really try to falsify them. So if, for example, your fear of applying for a job is because you don't think you're good enough. For example, you're not good enough with the programming skill. That's why you don't want to apply for data analytics role. Now, what can you do about it? How about you sign up for a course and learn programming? How about you pair up with someone who's doing it online and you can practice every day until you're good at it? So understanding the core root makes you find interventions and find ways to move forward with the current reality. The second C is about choosing. So now the ball is sort of in your hands. You have that reality around you, what people have said about you, what the environment has said about you, what the society expects you to do, and the norms around us. But what do you choose for yourself? It's about choosing the right environments, the things that feed positively to you, the things that align with your values, the things that align with what feeds into your spirit positively. It's about choosing the environments you want to immerse yourself in. It's very important to understand that it is also about choosing what you say about yourself when no one else is listening. Because that's the most powerful thing you'd ever hear. The conversations that you say about yourselves in your head, they must also be positive. Now, that's a hard one because you have to work with negative thoughts in your head and you have to fight them every single day. Literally every single day. Anyway, let's go to the third C. The third C is about creation. Now we are creating a whole experience for ourselves. We are creating a whole reality for ourselves, right? Now, imposter syndrome tells you that for you to start, you need to be perfect. For you to do a particular thing, you really must be a genius at that thing. But checked imposter syndrome tells you that you might not be good, but you're going to start. And if you fail, you're going to seek feedback. You're going to seek help and you're going to seek assistance. So imposter syndrome that's not checked prevents you from being vulnerable. But when you check your imposter syndrome, it opens up vulnerability. That is, you open up about your weaknesses as well. And in that way, that's how you receive assistance and, help. Imposter syndrome that's not checked tells you that you must be good at this, so you can do it solo. But when you check your imposter syndrome, it opens up, like I said, your vulnerability. So it allows people to come and collaborate with you, to work with you, and also it pushes you out of your comfort zone to go and also ask for assistance and seek for help from certain people. So can you see the difference? It's not about fighting it, but finding interventions to work with the feeling, to work with the experience. Like we said, imposter syndrome is not a mental disorder to heal from. It's an experience that we must try to understand and always be on the winning side of it. And lastly, when you're talking about creation, it's all about also choosing the people around you. In a circle of people around you, you must have people that are cheerleaders, that are your cheerleaders, people that see the best in you, people that are pushing you, people that motivate you, and people that also mentor you. All that team of people around you is very important. It could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be a manager, it could be a family member. But in your circle of people around you, it's very important to have people that would feed all those aspects of your life. I really hope that you found this helpful. And I really hope that we're going to keep track of our imposter syndrome and make sure that we're always staying on the winning side of it. If you found this video helpful, please make sure that you like it. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye.